What's going on? We're back with more Wilderness Slayer, but in this time we're not doing a guide on a task. We're just going to be talking about the update and how the update made Wilderness Slayer the absolute best way to do Slayer for a ton of different levels of the account. Before we get into the new update, let's talk about just Wilderness Slayer in general, so I can show you why it is already amazing before the update. The first thing, which to be honest is better for more Ironman or newer accounts, is Blighted supplies. Or if you're just a poor main, Blighted supplies is amazing, very easy to get on any level account, and you don't want to do it through LMS, you want to do it through, just PVMing while doing Slayer. But if you're completely out, you can go to LMS, and the best thing to buy here is 1 point for 4 super restores. This will last you minimum 1 task, and you get 7 points per win. So you go in, get a win, and you have 28 restores. That would take forever to go get your red spider eggs, get the 7 Erebor, whatever it is. So you have infinite supplies. And then the supplies is, replenishing with teleports, with magic supplies, and then through these keys with just general resources, right? You might say, oh, there's not a lot of resources in Wilderness Slayer. Well, no, Larran's keys are significantly better than Konar's keys. So you'll actually get more resources from Wilderness than Konar, in terms of per hour at least. And then of course there is the Revenant Weapons that provide a massive increased DPS compared to regular weapons. That would be more for a main account, and that's what justifies this for main accounts or, end mid-game / end game accounts. If you use Revenant Weapon combined with a cannon, you'll actually get more DPS than if you were just wearing, max gear, near max gear outside of the Slayer. You'll definitely see that with barraging. If you do cannon and barrage, you'll be getting more XP than anywhere else in the game. No ands, ifs, or buts, and then teleports everywhere, right? As a new account, it's hard to get everywhere. This obelisk alone gets you across the whole map, and then each of these tablets that you get just from random NPCs will get you across the whole map as well. So the only potential issue is getting back from like level 50 wilderness, and then obviously you just go here, go to the bank, teleport. Everything for a low level account is very efficient. It's very self-sustaining, right? And then talk about the other drops. We can go into the collection log. Here's my favorite items, mainly the Ring of the Gods and the Void Waker. I could have the Dragon Pickaxe here as well, but that's rather obvious, and technically you can get it outside the wilderness. I wouldn't though, it's lunacy. But long story short, this Void Waker is absolutely amazing. You technically don't need a Slayer level for it, right? I mean, you can do it off task. And it is equal to a whip in terms of regular DPS, and obviously the spec is the best melee spec in the game against high defense targets. So this Void Waker will last you until very end game, guaranteed of course. And then the Ring of Gods, it's actually your best ring until Desert Treasure 2 for mage end range. The DPS boost is not worth it up until you get the icons to add onto it. And then of course there is the Dagon High, which is the best prayer mage setup, and it has the same DPS on average as Aram's and stuff. Yes, it has a few lower attack accuracy, but it's very minimal depending on the boss. And then you'll get the Malediction and the Odium Ward. The Odium Ward is really the only way to get range strength before raids. I mean, you can use Antler Guard, but it's negative defense, so it's not really recommended everywhere. But just fantastic additions, especially the Void Waker. You'll use this forever. Last, we'll talk about clue scrolls. This is the Ring of Wealth scroll, and by the way, this is the Magic Shortbow scroll. Magic Shortbow scroll used to be very good. It's pretty much infinite OP Magic Shortbows, so infinite OP 1k weapons. But long story short, we're here for the Ring of Wealth scroll now. It will take 50k and change your Ring of Wealth to Imbued Ring of Wealth, and it'll give you double clue chance in the wilderness. So this is absolutely the best way to get clues against monsters. Yes, it's not as AFK as say going and doing Venator Bow with jellies, but it's much more efficient if you're actively playing. You can also combine this with the wilderness chest outside of Slayer. You can get it through Slayer and then use the Ring of Wealth in the wilderness chest. That will double your hard clue chance. And if you want mediums, I recommend AFKing Ice Warriors in the top left. You can die, but just 3 item and AFK, no worries. And a real minor thing, but I got added because I actually love it, is these pirate keys can get you a teleport imbuing scroll. which will actually teleport anchoring scroll, which will actually make you not be able to get teleported by abyssal demons. And that is very convenient for barraging them. I'm not gonna lie, it actually makes the task a lot easier. They don't de-aggro as much, essentially, is the point. And I am talking more for Iron Man generally, because that's where my head's at, but just know that it's very good for maids as well. Here's just an example. I did alch a ton of my bracelets, and still 4.5 mil in bracelets. There's tons of rune items. Check the Larran's keys, right? 75 keys is 10.6 mil. You can get this in a week. And it's not like you're getting 10.6 mil from a boss where you're trying to do all these mechanics. You're just AFKing level 70 mobs, easiest thing to kill. It's a ton of money, really easy. And they added so many worlds. Man, there used to be half the worlds. That means PKers have, 2 times less of a chance of getting you. It's unreal. And for proof for the DPS, you can check out my Necreel guide. I'm not even using the Revenant Weapon to barrage, which can barrage, 50. So 50 times 9, 450 damage in 1 drop. Nowhere else you can do that. And I'm still getting over 90k XP per hour. So you can easily get over 100k XP per hour. Semi-AFK in the wilderness. It's amazing. So as you can probably tell, I just thoroughly enjoy Wilderness Slayer. Even if it wasn't efficient, I'd probably get out there to get the heart pumping against some high-risk PKs and stuff like that. If there's situations that come up, you get a drop and that guy comes at the same time and your heart's beating and you get out, it feels so good. It feels way better than just, killing 600 Cerberus and finally getting that Primordial, even though the Primordial is more important. But long story short, let's get to the new updates. All right, so you should have gotten all your Slayer points back for a ton of things. And then we'll go to the rewards here, just to make sure you have everything on. You definitely need I Will Do More Slayer, and I highly recommend task storage for your Revenant tasks. This is so, if you're in prime of the day, you get a Revenant task, you're like, okay, I'll store that and do that at 11 p.m. or whenever you guys can do it. And then the major thing is now there's separate block lists for each Slayer Master. So you might already know that, but the way it impacts Wilderness Slayer is significantly more than the other tasks, than the other masters. That's because there's way fewer tasks on the Wilderness Slayer Master. So this will actually allow for Barrage Only Slayer. And Barrage Only Slayer is the reason that Partner Slayer was originally banned. If you use 2 different block lists, you could get pretty much, problem was mainly Smoke Devils, and that's like the best heart chance, best XP. But you could pretty much just get Barrage Only task in general. And now you can pretty much do it with Wilderness Slayer. It's just you don't have the Smoke Devils, but Necreals, Abyssal Demons, all that stuff, just if that's just your constant task, the imbued heart rate goes up like crazy. So I didn't math it out, but I'm very confident that Wilderness Slayer is the best way to get imbued heart. The secondary reason for that is even if somebody maps it out and it's like, oh, Wilderness Slayer is 10 hours more than Turiel skipping. Well, guess what? I have 1,000 Larran's keys while you're killing crawling hands. It's like, it's not even a question to me. I'm not going to go kill crawling hands with Turiel and going all over the map with stupid jewels. I'm going to get millions of gold and millions of resources and again get the imbued heart. Let's get into the task list so we can get only upgrades and only good XP tasks. All right, real quick, I gotta compare the Brimstone Keys versus the Larran's. All right, Brimstone Key 1 in 76 from Abyssal Demons. The Larran's Key is 1 in 65. Okay, so it's not massive, but let's just start off with, we get more Larran's keys per kills, and by the way, we have higher DPS, especially with Rev Weapons and cannon. You can't ever cannon Abyssal Demons. And then we'll go 100k for the Brimstone chest and 140k for the Larran's chest. So you get more keys, and they're literally 33% better, or whatever it is. Significantly more resources, huge for Iron Man, and you can sell, and good stuff to sell for mains. I'm not going to make a cookie cutter block list because this is for all accounts. This is just to prove that Wilderness Slayer is either the best or one of the best ways to do it. What I am going to do is show you task weight and show you how to decide what you need to block. I don't recommend blocking anything that's like 3, right? So Black Knights is 3, but you only get 75 and they're combat level 33, right? So although you don't want to do Black Knight test that much, it literally takes 3 minutes and you can cannon it, whatever. So that's just an example, right? But let's talk about what you definitely want to do. Let's start there. Wilderness bosses. This is one that as a new account, I would definitely have on. This will help you get the Wilderness Shield and, you know, other components like that, potentially even the Voidwaker piece. But we're going to see with spiders, we're going to kill Venenatus, and skeletons, we're going to kill Calvarion, and scorpions, we can kill Scorpia, and then bears, we can kill Callisto and Artio. I should state, by the way, these spiders, skeletons, scorpions, and bears, they're all very low level monsters. They're all very easy to kill. So if you don't want to do the boss, you can pretty much Turiel skip this task. It's what it feels like, especially scorpions. So there's level 2 scorpions deep in the wilderness. Cannon will just go around dead, and you can do the same thing with blowpipe, web weaver bow, whatever. But after you decide that if you want to do all the bosses or the skip task, the barrage is definitely the most important. So I'm going to be including semi-good barrages with really good barrages. All right, so the really good barrages is the classic Abyssal Demons, Necreals, Dust Devils, stuff like that. But then Anku is actually a very good barrage again. So we'll go through Abyssal Demons, fantastic. Anku, good. And let's see here. Dark Warriors, it's actually a decent one. Dust Devils. Jellies, I forgot about Jellies, very good. And rogues, you can actually barrage rogues very well. The only problem is PKers. It is one of the only hotspots that annoys me. I don't mind dying in the wilderness. I barely die, but I do get annoyed at rogues sometimes. That's why I skip it. There we have the tasks that I heavily support, right? These are like, if I get these, it's like, oh great, that's fantastic. And you'll see a lot of the ones that I don't support are low weight. Luckily, these have high weight already. You'll see stuff like Aviances is 7, don't unlock that and then you won't get it. And then Black Demons has 7, right? So let's get into the very bad tasks, talking about Black Demons. Alright, for the very bad tasks, of course, Aviances, Black Demons. Black Knights is debatable, right? The low weight of 3 makes it like either just do it or skip it. Now Bloodveld, if you have 6 or 7 blocks, I would definitely block Bloodveld. But with the low weight of 4, you can just skip it. Honestly, and if it's 4 or 3, you'll notice you don't get it much. Black Dragons, I would do, but since the weight of 4, you can definitely skip it. Chaos Druids, these are super quick, and you can get the collection log for the robes near zombie pirates and kill some zombie pirates on the way. Or you can just go down under Edgeville and do the task in like 2 minutes and get 25 points, way better than Turiel. Dark Warriors, it's got a task weight of 4. Dust Devil's fantastic. Earth Warriors, the same, Edgeville dungeon, quick task. And I'm just gonna say you should do it because eventually you might go for the Champion's Cape, and it's the only way to get this collection log item. They have one space, Edgeville Dungeon, Wilderness, so just do it. And then Ents, these are one of the ones that don't drop Larran's keys, so actually pointless from my point of view. You can't barrage them, no Larran's keys. Only a weight of 5, but I'd still say that's, you know, top tier trash. Fire Giants is classic top tier trash on every Slayer Master just because of the weight, sadly. Greater Demons, this is more debatable, right? If you're like a mid-level player and just want to AFK Greater Demons and get some XP, then they're decent, but because they have a weight of 8, I'm just going to select them for the potential blocks. Green Dragons, because it has a weight of 4 and it's so close to the Feryx Enclave, I'm not going to select it. But this is definitely debatable. It's going to be one of the worst XP tasks you'll get in Wilderness. So just take that into account. Hellhounds, fantastic. You'll get too many of them, but you can bring the Ring of Wealth scroll and literally get 4 hard clues per trip. It's literally insane. Hill Giants, they're weight of 3, and you need the keys. So I wouldn't do I would do them. Ice Giants, see, these have a weight of 6. But you can cannon them very quickly. I'm just going to mark them as a potential block. Ice Warriors, best for medium clues, very nice. Jellies, barrage 'em. Lava Dragons, highly recommend doing on an Iron Man. This will give you all the lava scale shards you need, so you won't have to do those boring, slow fishing and infernal eels. And then Lesser Demons, this is a potential block, but because they're so much quicker than Greater Demons and they're lower weight, we'll skip on it for now. Magic Axes, I'm one of the only people who love this task. I think it's fantastic, but because the weight of 7, I will mark it as a potential block for you. You literally just AFK in a place that requires a lockpick for 10 minutes. You can do regular potion, and then dip from the room. As long as you're 3-iteming, of course. Mammoths, we're not going to block these because we have so many others blocked, and you can cannon these really quick. They're low HP. Moss Giants, same thing, 4 weight, no worries. Necreel, fantastic task. Pirate, we can do zombie pirates, so one of the best GP tasks, especially for lower levels, because it's 35 HP zombie pirate. Revenants, obviously the best task for Iron Man, so you can get that Web Weaver bow for the spec, and just get all 3 wilderness weapons for DPS during Slayer. Ironic, everyone's like, oh, I don't want the scepter. No, you want the scepter. That is the best thing you can get. You'll be barraging 50 times 9. Where are we? All right. Revenants. Rogues, decent task in terms of XP, but you might get killed. Scorpions, Scorpia or skip task. Skeletons, Calvarion or skip task. Spiders, boss or skip. Spiritual creatures. This I'm going to put as a potential block just because it's annoying being in the God Wars dungeon with 4 different items. And then all of this is a choice for an unlock, and zombies is the same thing as pirates. Whether it's pirates or zombies, you can do both of these at zombie pirates. So zombie pirates was another huge addition to Wilderness. All right, that is technically 8 highlighted, but you have to pay to unlock the Aviancies. So here is my personal 7 highlighted: Spiritual Creatures, Magic Axes, Ice Giants, Greater Demons, Fire Giants, Ents, and Black Demons. And you might say, oh, there's a lot of other tasks left. Are you sure we can, skip all the rest with the points? You get over 25 points per task. That means every task combined with the 10 points, or the 10 tasks and the 100 task extra points, that's essentially 1 free skip every task. So all you have to do is get something you like 50% of the time. It's actually less than that. After you do 1,000, you get massive bonus, you get 40 more blocks, all that, 40 more skips, all that. So this turns out to a very enjoyable Slayer process, and that's what makes, if you have to get 60 mil XP for the Imbued Heart, whichever Slayer Master it is, you gotta do what you find, most fun at the end of the day, which, when we're talking about efficiency, that doesn't generally add up, but when you're talking 100 hours of work, you need to have some type of motivation to do it successfully, and Wilderness provides that for me. Alright, for the recap, since you can cannon everywhere and Revenant Weapons exist, you'll get the most DPS in the Wilderness Slayer. Also combined with the fact that she gives the most points per task out of any Wilderness Slayer. Also, a lot of her tasks are like Turiel, where you're skipping, and then like Duradel, where you get bosses. So it's Turiel, skipping, and Duradel all in one. Much more enjoyable and seamless experience. Then with the self-sustaining supplies, so you always have infinite food and infinite prayer. Combined with the fact that it has its own separate block list, so we can pretty much do barrage only. This is perfect for every single type of account, right? The only time you shouldn't be doing Wilderness Slayer is if you're an Iron Man going for, Cerberus gear, Araxer gear, Hydra gear. So pretty much, I would say level 87 to 95 Slayer, you do outside of the Wilderness, finish off your Hydra log, hopefully before 99 Slayer. But let's just say, finish up your Hydra log, your 98 Slayer, and then do 98 Slayer to 60 mil Slayer for the Imbued Heart here. Have infinite supplies with the Larran's keys, and never need to worry about, food or prayer, anything. I forgot to mention these search checks. These is actually from the Mir's Arena. I got a guide from Mir's Arena. It's pretty much to get tons of ancient ice sacks. Highly recommend using these for lava dragons, and then free ice sacks for barraging. Saves you money, get infinite money from infinite supplies. You get more points per hour. You get more damage per second. No, I don't see many downsides at all besides, oh, I'm scared. I don't want to get killed by a PKer. Like, come on, man. Come on. Thank you for watching, guys. Remember to take advantage of the looting bag because the wilderness is the only place where you can have 56 items in your bag. Here's my 2 settings. Go out there, get the money, get the XP, and if you die, you know, just get better and stop dying. You'll get there eventually, and even if you die, who cares? You're 3-iteming, 4-iteming, lose a little bit of resource, and with all the extra XP and points you're getting, technically you don't lose time. You're like, oh, if I die in the wilderness, I lose XP and money, and in theory, yes, but because it's so much faster, not really. Also, you can learn techniques like Void Waker Vengeance at the same time to KO people, or 4-way mage switch to barrage somebody, walk underneath, log out, or just, you know, augury, mage, well, if you don't have augury, mystic vigor, mage, steel skin, protect item, make sure you're wearing a d'hide, get the freeze and log out. But yeah, I'm just rambling at this point. I love Wilderness Slayer. I'm so happy that it got a massive update to make it, you know, I'll just call it best in slot. I don't care what anybody else says. And yeah, that's a wrap. Peace.